It's the Jim and Terry Show, coming to you from the Hobbit Studio in Bob Cajun. I'm Terry.
I'm Jim. That
would be the old Hockey Night in Canada theme song. Not bad. Takes me back, way back to the days of the troglodytes. No, not that far back. Back to the days of broadcasting CBC and Foster Hewitt and that kind of days.
Yes.
Hockey. Well, since you did the hockey theme, which was not where I was going to go with this, but being ever the ones to improvise things.
Oh, we're improvisers.
Let's talk about Hockey Canada and their Toronto luxury condominium.
I didn't know they had a luxury condominium.
Well, you know they're in a little bit of trouble here with reputational difficulty.
They're in bed with trouble.
Well, that seems to be it, or assaulting the bed.
Or somebody was in bed with the trouble.
Yes, and we're not sure what's going on. Trudeau was out saying something about Hockey Canada needs to clean his house.
Trudeau, that's another thing. I mean,
that's a pot calling the kettle black?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, it's just that. I mean, he knows he's smart in that way. He's labeled himself as a feminist, so he's going to be right there in on that. So I don't know. I don't know how genuine it is.
Is it a hashtag Me Too moment, or is there something legitimate to these claims? Remember, the claims of sexual assault are the ones moving forward, and Hockey Canada seems to have a reputation for this.
Yeah, is it every year, or was it just a time period, like 2003 to 5 or something?
Yeah, it's at least 10 years old, some of these allegations, but, I mean, if they're crimes, they're crimes. It doesn't matter to me. If they're hockey players who are guilty of abuse, they need to be held accountable for their behavior.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
All right, so it wasn't just the teams. The teams are are a symptom of what's going on. Is corruption like a toilet? It flows down, and we need to look at the top. So let's take a look. The story that broke on CBC yesterday, and it may be on other news services, was simply that Hockey Canada has an executive suite, a private luxury condo in Toronto.
I had no idea about that.
How would you feel if your money was being used to that?
You go back to the old money's the root of all evil. Sometimes it really makes you think it is for some reason. Just so much corruption in absolutely every walk of life, it seems. I know that the president of the Canadian Hockey Association or something, not that, but as far as these juniors and that are concerned, he's staying on as, the CEO or whatever, and everybody said he should go. Now, forgive me, folks, I don't know.
Yeah, we're just raising the issue. It's on the periphery of our awareness. How much we should be concerned about it, I'm not sure. I do want to see justice. That's where
Well, the trouble at the top is apparently they didn't report. They just buried it. And we've seen that in the Vatican. We've seen that in other religious organizations. We see it in sports. We see it in governments. Wow, it's just, we're getting to a place I don't know if we're going to be able to trust anybody or anything. And that's sad. That's really sad. There's got to be some good out there, folks. We need to, maybe should have a show of complete goodness. Let's turn this around to the good sports.
Good sports. Well, how about the two Canadian golfers? And I'm going to try to find their names because it would not be fair to mention them without their names. But it's the notion that two Canadians were appointed to the international team representing the President's Cup. So international golfers versus American golfers, the President's Cup.
Yeah, this is cool. I mean, that's good that there's two Canadian golfers that are that strongly recognized, and there has been. If you watch golf, and I haven't done it for a while, for some reason I lost interest. I used to watch it every Sunday.
Along with the grass growing,
but there's been consistently a couple of Canadians that have been battling there. They don't seem to make it, but they battle it.
Brooks Henderson, female golfer, Canadian.
Yeah, and there's female Canadian golfers, and the big move, what I'm seeing in golf, is the Asians. They seem to really be coming up.
Yes, it seems to be. I've always sort of said this, and I'm not sure that I have any more evidence to suggest it's true or not these days. It's an elite sport it costs a lot of money to become good at it.
You need a lot of time.
And I'm wondering whether it's a reflection of Chinese wealth.
Sure. Why not? It has to be. Or, I mean, let's face it, China would be state-sponsored because nobody really owns anything in China. They all have all these different businesses, and you think everything like that, but it's all owned by the government of China.
We'll take a look at China in another podcast, but let's stick with sports and say that is it possible that China is interested in all things American?
Well, I think it is, again, to promote, same as all communistic regimes like Russia and all of them, is to promote how wonderful they are, how much superior they are. And that even went back to Germany, when Germany was really offended that black athletes were beating their white guys.
Jesse Owens.
Yeah. And it's always been a propaganda thing, sadly enough.
Yeah.
So why I said about nothing is owned by China is just simply they're sponsored by,
it's a state.
A state, and then we have we have Nike and different companies that support athletes over here, or
corporate sponsorship. I don't know if that's any better. That's another issue.
Well, if you get up there and start winning, those purses are getting pretty big, man.
Yeah.
They're making a lot of money for playing a game.
At stake.
Yeah.
And talk about reputational damage. What happens if a sponsor finds an athlete doing inappropriate things?
Well, yeah, they drop them quick.
Reputational damage.
And it just drives me crazy when I think of different people that are putting their lives in jeopardy, when in reality, I guess you could always just hire a prostitute or something. Why put your life in jeopardy by doing something like this guy that just killed that jogger down the United States? I mean, why? I mean, he's driving an SUV. Man, for a couple of $100, you didn't have to kill somebody. You know what I mean? You could have just hired somebody. I don't understand it. I don't get it. It's just pure evil.
Yeah, I'm not sure where you're going with that one, but I'll stick to the world of sports and draw you back to other Canadian successes.
These people can, when you're let's take
when you're
hockey.
a top tier athlete, you're saying
a top tier athlete doesn't need to force anybody.
That's right. So why?
There's all kinds of women who are willingly to sleep with any powerful man, and maybe vice versa. Any man willing to sleep with a powerful woman. I don't know.
This goes into the age of consent, and that's important to make sure that consent is clear, and that gets into another complex issue we'll talk about in another podcast. Focusing on Canadian, I want to mention the name Adriana Leon, and I don't think I'm not sure how you pronounce her last name. Leon is how it's spelled, and just a beautiful. I watched the replays today just to say Canada's women's soccer team. Sinclair is still playing.
No way.
But the feed from Sinclair to Adriana Leon was something to behold.
I have to
watch the replays of that game. Brilliant. And then
did they win the game?
Yeah. And Leon got 2 goals. The second one was even better. The first one was a pass from Sinclair at the side. I would have loved to see that game. Well, you can watch it. It's worth watching. It is a wonderful sport, soccer.
Yeah, it is.
And when it's played well, it is elegant and graceful. And the second goal I just want to describe is a long feed up the middle to Adriana Leon, getting right through past the defenders, one-on-one with the goalie, takes a long shot, goalie goes down, the shot goes up, it's in the net. Beautiful. So here's to Team Canada. And don't forget the men are getting ready for FIFA World Cup. So I'm not sure. Is it November?
November.
Okay, so they're warming up. I think they've got a warm-up match against Japan. So that's going on. Now we have the Blue Jays winning 6 out of 7. Wow.
So did they win a wild card or something?
I'm thinking they're in a position now to be postseason.
Has a wild card baseball team ever
won the whole thing?
I doubt it. So the whole thing is it just keeps the money ball rolling. That's all it really is.
Well, I hate to be skeptical, just
it just fills I mean, our audience out there, you can let us know. Has a wild card team ever won the World Series?
Follow the money.
Follow the money. Hockey's the same, and if you can keep the stadiums filled.
Yeah, but you don't want
millions.
Toronto to be in the finals, and I mean, what's that going to do?
What's Toronto? They're going to get a new janitor, and then everybody's going to go, "We got the new janitor. This is going to be great, man. He cleans fabulously. The guys are all going to be happy, and they're going to win." I'm sick and tired of Toronto. It's just a letdown.
Well, there are some good things out of Toronto, such as
hockey.
Aaron Brown and who's our great sprinter? Oh my gosh, I should know. They're competing under DeGrasse and Aaron Brown. Look like they might take spots 1 and 2 in the finals, 100 meters.
Wow, go.
So go, guys, go. Team Canada, whatever your sport, get out, stay active. The Jim and Terry Show, we do.
Because we're active. We are. You should see our bodies.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.